Okay, good morning. We want to talk about how blood flows around the body. We'll first do what's called an arterial side or an arterial tree, and then we'll do a venous one. Okay, so let's begin with the artery side, how blood flows out away from the heart around to the body. We can begin here, say in your left ventricle, right? So blood from the left ventricle leaves through the aorta, arches up, arches over, comes down the back, travels down the abdominal cavity and stops at the level of the hips. Okay, so we can call this 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 parts of the aorta. So 1 here is the ascending aorta. All right, this is your arterial tree. Okay, so 1 is the ascending aorta. 2 is called the aortic arch. 3, which descends back here, is called the thoracic aorta. And 4 in the abdominal cavity is called the abdominal aorta. So the aorta really travels from your heart around the back down to here, where it stops here at the level of the hip. So let's make this dash will be your diaphragm there, okay? So let's do some parts. So on the aorta, as soon as it emerges from the left ventricle, it gives off 2 branches that go to the heart, okay? So let's call this maybe 5A and 5B. Those are your right and left coronary arteries. Right and left coronary arteries, which carry blood to the heart wall itself. Now the aortic arch provides some branches there. Let's look at those. So the arch gives all 3 branches. 1 to the right side and 2 to the left, like so, okay? So let's call these 6, 7, and 8. So 6, I'm gonna keep on erasing here, by the way, sorry. So 6 in this case is your brachiocephalic trunk. 7, so this number 6 goes up to the right side. Okay, that's your brachiocephalic trunk. To the left side, you have 7, which is your left common carotid artery, carrying blood up to the neck on the left side. And 8 is your left subclavian artery, carrying blood to the left side, especially left upper limb. Now, the number 6, your brachiocephalic trunk will split into 9 and 10. And in this case, 9 is now going to run up the neck on the right side. So that becomes your right common carotid artery, means similar to 7. And 10 is now similar to 8, which is your right subclavian artery. So right side, left side. Then as we continue up here, up the neck on both sides, the common carotid arteries will branch like this. Okay. So let's call these 11, 12. Okay. And they are the right and left versions of 11 would run outside of the head to bring blood to your face structures, the external head structures. That's called your external carotid artery. And 12 goes in through the carotid canal to go into the brain, and that's called the internal carotid artery. Okay. So now we've brought blood up to the brain area there. While we're up here messing around in the upper areas, let's do some more. So coming off the subclavians is another artery here. That artery, number 13 in this case. Okay, that one, 13, is called your internal thoracic artery. It's carrying blood to the thorax on both sides. So 13, and here's also 13, that one there. And then also going up off the subclavian is another artery going up. In fact, it branches before this part. So let's put this, make this longer. Put this right here. This is number 13. So also going up on both sides is your number 14 artery. That's called your vertebral artery, carrying blood up through the cervical foramen up into the brain. It's called your vertebral artery, okay? So, while we're here, let's keep going up. So now we're going to do a little blood flow to the brain specifically. Okay, so over here, we're going to start with your vertebrals. So your 14s, vertebrals, come up through the transverse foramen of the cervical vertebrae, comes up, and then then they merge to form what's called a basilar artery. So here's 14, merge to form, let's call this 15, which is your basilar artery. Basilar artery. And then that artery was split like this into 16s. To bring blood to the back of the brain. So we call these your posterior cerebral arteries. Okay. And then the internal carotid artery also comes in. So this one is marking where your number 12s come in. Number 12. Okay, your internal carotid arteries, they come in, and then they will form two vessels, like so. Okay, so they form number 17 here, which is called your middle cerebral artery, carrying blood to the middle of the brain. And then 18. 18 is called your anterior cerebral artery, carrying blood to the front of the brain. Then you have these bridge vessels here. Bridge vessels there and here. Okay. Those bridge vessels, which is called them 19 and 20. So 19 is called your anterior communicating artery. And then 20 is called the posterior communicating artery. Okay, and so this circle of vessels here, this circle of vessels, okay, of 6 vessels, is called your circle of Willis. Circle of Willis, or your cerebral arterial circle. This allows for blood to be rerouted around the brain. It helps to minimize stroke events, okay? If something is blocked, the blood can be rerouted around the circle. So know for me that the circle of Willis includes your anterior cerebral artery, the posterior, the middle cerebral arteries, and the 2 communicating arteries, as well as the internal carotid artery. So you have six vessels in it. The 3 cerebrals, the 2 communicatings, and the internal carotid arteries. That forms your circle of Willis. Okay, we'll pause there.